If you've been cycling for a while, I'm pretty confident that your bike buying journey would be similar to mine, external to the year you purchased that first performance-focused race bike. Normally, the second bike that you will purchase in your road bike buying journey, which today, I guess mainstream would consider that entry to mid-level range, which is, for those of you familiar with group sets, the Shimano 105 to Ultegra group set range, if you're lucky. For me, personally, it was 2010 when I bought this Specialized Tarmac Expert and I negotiated a deal to put on some nice Mavic carbon hoops. The total cost was roughly 5,500 AUD, or if I put that into an inflation calculator today, that's roughly 8,000 AUD, or that's 5,000 USD. I probably spent a little bit beyond that mid-level range, but in 2010, in that era, most people were spending around 4,000 to 5,000 Australian dollars. And to validate that hypothesis, I actually spoke with this bloke here, Damo Jones, who ran a successful Specialized dealership for over a decade during that period. And he agreed 4,000 to 5,000 AUD was where it was at in that 2010 era, albeit he was a Specialized dealership, not a giant dealership. But fast forward to today, where you can still get a full Ultegra electronic spec group set carbon fiber road bike from a reputable brand being Polygon for 4,400 Aussie dollars from my friends at Bikes Online, today's video sponsor. But more on them later in the vid. From all the discussions that I've personally had over the years, selling bikes secondhand and so forth, I feel the budget for that first performance focused race bike, the second bike purchase in the bike buying journey, is still around that 5,000 AUD mark, maybe more like 5,000 to 6,000 AUD now versus 4,000 to 5,000, which is roughly 3,000 to 3,500 USD. If you disagree, you can let me know below. And when you're buying that first performance focused race bike, you're very excited about this purchase because the first bike you probably purchased or maybe even borrowed was a bit of a brick, but something hooked you in shortly afterward. It could have been a Strava segment, or maybe you're just looking to compete in the local group ride. And normally that desire to purchase that first performance orientated race bike will happen 6, 12, maybe 18 months into your road cycling journey. But guess what? When you're new to road cycling, which these people are, you don't know what you don't know. Or as another YouTuber puts it, if you know, you know. And the big problem with that $5,000 to $6,000 entry to mid-level market, and I'm gonna throw my mates at BMC under the bus here because I own one of these bikes for a while, but this is consistent across all mainstream brands, and that is this BMC Team Machine SLR5 with 105 Di2, which was roughly 3,500 USD or circa 5,500 AUD, was 8.2 kilograms without pedals. Now, if you don't know, you don't know, but I can tell you, unless you're 8'9" and require a really significant size frame, anything over 8 kilograms is in the brick category. It is not a pleasurable riding experience. I don't care if you've got an aero bike with super deep dish wheels, anything over 8 kilograms is brickish. And if you're riding bricks, this is not cultivating a good riding experience for those people progressing through the cycling ranks. Back in 2010, that Specialized Tarmac I showed you stock, without the wheel upgrade, would have been circa 7.5 kilograms, probably less, according to me mate Damo. However, let's play this out in 2025. You're relatively new to cycling. You don't know. You save up all this money, you go into a store, you spend $5,000 to $6,000 AUD on a bike, and you walk away with a brick. And here's the thing, I don't want you to ride a brick because I know it is not a pleasurable riding experience. I want you to ride a sub 8 kilogram bike with nice carbon race wheels because as soon as you go under that mark, ideally closer to 7.5, I can tell you from over 15 years of riding experience and 7 years of doing bike reviews, in my humble dickhead YouTube opinion, you will love riding even more, potentially progressing your cycling further than you would have if you were riding a brick. Now, I have some compelling ride data evidence in this video to share with you, put together by expert bike fitter Neil Stanbury to prove this point again, because I've proved it in previous videos using this Polygon Strattos S8X with Ultegra Di2 and some Novatech carbon wheels, coming in at 4,400 AUD, or that's just under 3,000 USD. And despite the fact Polygon, a well-regarded Indonesian brand that has strong roots in mountain biking world, touts this more as an endurance road bike, this is what expert bike fitter Neil Stanbury has to say.
It's an interesting bike. It's got some pretty aggressive geometry for what is supposedly an endurance geometry bike. The stack on the 54 is quite low. It's similar to the stack that you'd find on a tarmac, for example. So I think we got 35 millimeters of spacers as it came from the guys at Bikes Online who've donated this to us. The stack height for me was about right like that, and it was quite comfortable, rode really well, nice, comfortable back end. So the compliance in the rear end is really good, like you would expect from an endurance bike. But the actual geometry of the frame, it's surprisingly low in the front end. So just be wary of that if you are purchasing it.
I can also tell you, despite this having Shimano Ultegra, this bike is a proper brick, which goes against the theme of this video, but bear with me. You see, our medium came in at circa 8.5 kilograms without pedals and one bottle cage and one computer mount. I mean, my gut feel is with this bike, some people might even just buy it for the Shimano Ultegra, sell the frame and the wheels and be done with it. But here's the thing about this bike, because the Polygon price point is pretty ridiculous at 4,400 AUD, that's under 3,000 USD. So let's say you've got that 5,000 to 6,000 AUD budget and you want to buy brand new, not second hand. Rather than buy a mainstream 105 brick, you could buy something like this, which yes, it is a brick, but it's only 4,400 AUD. It's got Ultegra and not 105, and you've got available budget to immediately swap out the wheels, which you'll soon find out are carrying a lot of weight. Plus, if you want to be performance focused, you've got a nice set of carbon race wheels to put on your bike immediately. So let's hear what Neil had to say about what it was like to ride this bike stock, and then what happened when he put the carbon race wheels on it.
The bike itself, the frame felt good, but the wheels made it feel really sluggish. So I did a series of hill climbs up a local climb, which is about a 7-minute effort, just holding a steady tempo wattage, which was easy for me to hold, which was about 260 watts. We managed 4 really, really smooth runs, and we got all the runs were within 1 second of each other, which was nice and accurate. And then we upgraded the wheels and redid the run. So these are a set of creative classics, $1,500 odd worth from Michael Redding down in Melbourne. Really good wheel set. We chucked a couple of Conti 5000s on them and some AliExpress /eBay TPU tubes. So when we repeated the test at exactly the same wattage in 0 wind conditions, we got 10 to 11, maybe even 12 seconds. Yeah, it's a decent amount. And the bike, more importantly to me than just that little bit of extra speed, the bike was so much more responsive. It was faster in a straight line, and it was way quicker to accelerate.
That is how much faster you have gone with roughly a $1,500 upgrade, which reduced the bike weight by well over half a kilo. Although to be honest, I still think we're a little bit too heavy here. Although keep in mind, we have left the full chimney here, and given the savings you're going to get with a bike like this, potentially if you've got available budget, you could go for some carbon bars, which will then reduce the weight even more. Now keep in mind, for these tests with Neil, it was only uphill. We haven't done straight line tests, we haven't done spin down tests. So if you want to see tests of a similar ilk, you can see a full deep dive I did on an upgrade process with the BMC SLR I referenced earlier, with speed outcomes across multiple segments. I'll link to that video below and up the top of the screen. So the moral of the story here is the industry with disc brakes and electronic group sets, that entry to mid-level performance race bike category, often the first proper performance race bike people purchase, it's gotten too heavy. Over 8 kilograms it's a brick. I'm sorry, I don't care what you're gonna say. So what do you do about it? Well, firstly, the industry could step up to the plate. I am sure there are carbon wheel manufacturers they could partner with to bring the weight of these bikes down and improve the performance of the bikes, so we're getting more people enjoying the sport. Alternatively, the consumer can keep this in mind, and when you're going in to buy that first, or I should say second road bike, you want something performance focused, make sure you've got a nice set of carbon race wheels on it, and make sure it's under 8 kilos. I'll catch you in the next video.